Hello, today I wanted to talk about why this practice is called parenting legacy. And I wanted to ask you a question. What legacy do you want to leave for your children? I remember asking myself that question. There was many answers I had. When I first was married, I was thinking to myself, I want to leave an educational legacy. I think education is really important. I want my kids to go to college. I want to help them get a degree. I want to leave them a financial legacy. I hope I can save up enough money to be able to pay for that college, maybe somewhere along the way pay for other things that my parents were unable to give to me. I wanted to leave a legacy of health and exercise, nutrition. I want them to eat well, have a good relationship with food. I wanted to leave a legacy of knowing how important friendships are, how to do friendships, how to see their dad have friendships and their mom have friendships. So these were really important to me. But then one day, I was at a wedding. I was at this wedding of a friend, and I saw something that really kind of bothered me. At this wedding, I saw the bride and the groom, and I knew their families a little bit. And what I noticed in their families, I hadn't seen in many other families that I had been around. And I just saw this honest, transparent vulnerability. It seemed like in this family, they really showed up with no mask, with no faking. They really were not afraid to be seen and to be loved as they were. Man, I was so jealous. I don't know if you ever run into people like that, but I was so jealous. That freedom that they seemed to have, I just didn't have it. I didn't feel like I had it with my siblings. I didn't feel like I had it with some of my friends. And I really wanted it. And I was kind of upset for about a year or two that I didn't have this. I thought, why don't I have this? Why was I not given this? And then I feel like something kind of spoke to me in my heart saying, this didn't start with them. This started a legacy generations ago. That somebody in those families decided to love differently in those families, decided to approach relationships differently in those families. And then I got this picture. I got this picture of the ocean. The ocean is big, it's deep, it can be kind of scary. But I said, what if the ocean was love? What if the ocean was God's love? This endless, deep, powerful love. Why wouldn't I want to go in there? Why wouldn't I want to dive deep and get sucked out by the undertow? You want to know why? Because the beach, the shore, felt better. It felt more familiar. The waves were just too scary. And so I began to wonder, what is the waves? The beach, the sand. What is the sand? If the waves and the water are love, what is the sand? And it hit me one day when I was at a conference when they were showing how the brain responds differently under love and fear. And that fear seems to be the opposite of love. That when I'm afraid, I can't think about loving anybody, only protecting myself. And I thought, that's the answer. That's the thing that feels more familiar, is fear. Letting fear motivate and guide me seems like the default rather than love guiding me. And I thought, I don't want that for my kids. I want my kids to step into that water and let it feel comfortable. I want them to get sucked out by the undertow and think that sounds fun. I want to see them someday with their own kids and they're way out in the water waving to me as I see my grandkids out there, deeply immersed in love and not seeing fear as something that's helpful to them. I want them to be able to be fearless. So that became a new legacy. I wanted to leave a legacy where my kids could give love, but also receive love freely. I wanted to them courageously to be able to show up and be seen wherever they're at. And lastly, I wanted them to run after their dreams and desires fearlessly. And that's just something that's really hard for me to do. So I want to ask you that question today. I'd love to have your comments. What legacy would you like to leave? What is the legacy you want to leave for your